The Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers. The Falcons 4-5, the Panthers 2-7. Lots of turnover going on with the Carolina Panthers and their quarterback position. We saw Baker Mayfield make an appearance on Sunday. We saw PJ Walker get benched after going only 3 of 10. Baker Mayfield came in and didn't do too bad, going 14 of 20, 155 yards and 2 touchdowns against a Bengals team that was maybe already out of it after putting up, 35 points in the first half. But it's a new day for the Panthers. It's a new day for the Atlanta Falcons. Last time we saw these two teams, it was going to overtime, and the Falcons, on the leg of Young Wei Koo, was getting the victory. And
Young
that
Hoku.
game made them...
Huh? Hey, Young Hoku.
Yeah. He's a dude. He's a dude. But they were getting the victory and taking the top spot of the NFC South. This time, Falcons don't have that lead, but could possibly have that lead if they win and the Bucs lose. It's possible. It's possible. Aaron, what are you watching for in this game between these two teams?
This is the worst division in football. This is the new NFC East. Jesus. I mean, when we're talking 3-5, 3-6 teams fighting for first place, this is a battle of two teams that just saw each other. I think the difference here is the Falcons get Cordero Patterson back, which is big for them. I think that helps their running game even more, gives them an additional weapon on the offensive side of the football. But I do want to say something because I think we glossed over it a little bit. Not we, but we haven't talked about it since I said it. Shout out to Steve Wilkes for going back to PJ Walker. I was extremely happy when I saw that because I said the other day, I'm not a fan of, you bench PJ Walker and then you go to Baker Mayfield the next week. They benched him because he wasn't playing well. Fine. I'm okay with that. But the next game, who should start? PJ Walker. He's that's okay. And so I'm okay with this. I like the move. I thought that was a class act. I thought it was the appropriate move. One guy had a bad half, and you wanted to try to get something going in the second half, and you did. Baker came in, had a spark. Great for him. That's what a backup's supposed to do. But it doesn't mean he deserves to go in and start. PJ Walker had a bad half. I liked that they went with PJ Walker again, and they've already made the announcement. He came out and said it. And I think that he'll come back and he'll play like PJ Walker on Thursday night. So I thought that was important. I really liked that. This game is just another turd bowl on Thursday night. It's not a good game. There's not a lot here, not playing for much. I think the Falcons, probably have a little bit more to play for because they are only a game back. But it's in Carolina and it's a short week. So, that matters. And it's not like there's no talent in Carolina. They got some guys on defense. They got DJ Moore, PJ Walker's serviceable. It's going to be one of those divisional battles. Probably not a lot of scoring, but
I'll ask you, maybe this is more of an X's and O's question here. But so the Falcons, obviously one of the best rushing teams in the NFL right now, fourth most rushing yards per game this season. They're very good at running the ball. Obviously, Cordero Patterson, Tyler Algier, Caleb Huntley coming in as well, making a difference. How does the Panthers defense stack up against that?
I think Panthers defense is fine. Like we talked about the Panthers, they're not a team that's terrible. I think they've had bad moments, and I think that's the problem, right? You talk about a team that's had bad moments. Sometimes it happens. They're not great against the run, though. So if you're going to exploit them, you're going to exploit them in the running game. This is what I always say about bad teams. Sometimes the numbers are inflated because they're always on the field. So the defensive numbers, if you're on the field for a long periods of time, guess what's going to happen? Offense is going to rack up more stats. That's just the thing. I do think they're more susceptible against the run than the pass. You get a guy like Brian Burns off the edge. Sometimes you can run at him because he's overly aggressive. And then you got the secondary, which is not a bad back end. Like that's a team that's been playing well in the secondary for the most part. But you saw what Joe Mixon just did to Carolina. Like you have to be concerned if you're Carolina about the running game of Atlanta. But I would also imagine it's different playing the Bengals than it is playing the Atlanta Falcons. When you play the Bengals, you're like, okay, we got to worry about Higgins and Boyd and Joe Burrow. And Mixon hadn't been doing a lot, and their offensive line hadn't been run blocking well. So you probably game plan to stop the pass. And so what happens is you get light boxes, and Joe Mixon goes crazy. When you play Atlanta, there's none of that. You know who Marcus Mariota is. You're game planning to stop that run because you know if you stop the run, you have a chance. Not to mention, we just saw this team weeks ago. We know what they want to do. How can we go out and stop it? Not that they were successful to stopping it 2 weeks ago, but they did just see them 2 weeks ago. So I think it's going to be important for them to make their necessary adjustments and figure out a way to combat whatever it is that Atlanta wants to do. And Atlanta, remember, they kind of did the same thing last time. Even though they ran 37 times in that game, it wasn't their best rushing game. Marcus Mariota had to throw for almost 300 yards in that game. I think it's going to be a similar style game. Mariota is going to have to beat them, and maybe he will, maybe he won't.
Yeah. I realized that after the fact that after I asked that question of how the Panthers stack up against the Falcons rush attack, I realized after the fact that
Joe Mixon was going.
Yeah, Joe Mixon just shit pumped them 5 tutties in a game.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Joe Mixon is Joe Mixon.
Yeah, it's a different case.
Falcons are the Falcons.
Yeah, exactly. It's a slightly different of a case though, but the Falcons do rush well, and the Panthers are coming off of that. So maybe to try making a statement here for the Panthers defense to say, okay, we're not that bad against the run and stop the fourth best team in the NFL in rushing in the Atlanta Falcons. The last 5 meetings between these two teams have been decided by 8 points or less. So we can expect a close game. Maybe we can expect a close game. I don't know. That's why we're here to give you our predictions. Aaron, what do you expect for a score in this one?
Yeah, the NFL, there was a stat that was just released on Twitter or something.
I can tell you the stat if you'd like.
Okay.
I do have it. It's in my notes here. Hold on.
Say that stat because I think that's very important. We've talked about it.
Through 9 weeks this year, 72 NFL games have been decided by 7 or fewer points, more than any season through week 9 in league history.
That says a lot. And I told you guys it's a touchdown league. This is not a blowout league. We see blowouts and we think it's a lot. Oh, it happens all the time. It doesn't. This NFL is a touchdown league. It's a 1-score game. It comes down to 1 or 2 possessions, turnover. That's the NFL. And so I always lean on that. I always say games are just going to be close. Just book it. It's a 1-score game almost every time. I will lean on that side. I think this is a 1-score game. Falcons favored on the road here, but I am actually going to take the home team. I think they make their adjustments, and I'm taking the Panthers. I hate road teams on a short week. I think it's hard to recover. A lot of NFL players hate this game because their body has to recover. You have to get on a plane. You're jet lagged. All this stuff. Although you probably don't have to get on a plane if you're the Falcons to go that far. It's not very far to Carolina. But I think the Panthers win this game, and I think it's a low-scoring game. I will say 23-17. Maybe even lower than that, but I'll take 23-17.
The Falcons have alternated wins and losses all season long. I think that obviously they lost on Sunday. That may be terrible logic to pick the Falcons here. But I think the involvement of Cordero Patterson and getting him back is going to be huge for this team. I think they do win this game. Let me go 19-17 Falcons on Thursday Night Football.